looked at me like I was the one out of place here, not him. Then casually mentioned he'd need input from his colleagues about my condition. At his call, several more figures filed into the room surrounding my bed. These men were a few of his friends from the bar. Their hands pressed down on my arms and legs with a strength that felt far too deliberate. The doctor smirked, then asked me if I'd ever seen the episode of WWE where Vince McMahon was in the hospital and Stone Cold Steve Austin beat him with a bedpan. I didn't even have time to answer. He grabbed my bedpan and started bashing me over my head, blow after blow, laughing and shouting things that didn't make sense, each word bending and twisting like they weren't meant for human ears. When he finally stopped, he reached into his jacket, pulled out a beer, cracked it open, and chugged it while the others cackled. Their laughter sounded wrong, like multiple voices stacked on top of each other. Then, just as casually as they'd come, they walked out of the room, leaving me strapped to the bed and reeling, wondering if I'd woken up in the wrong place entirely. The nurse came back into my room and wrapped the cuff around my arm, checking my blood pressure like everything was fine. I asked, "Who can I report that doctor to?" Her face didn't change. Calm, empty, but still modeling that painted-on smile. "That doctor died in a bar fight," she said flatly. "Who would you report that to?" My chest tightened. Before I could answer, she added, "You need rest. You've got a long journey ahead of you." Then she walked out, her shoes echoing against the linoleum until the silence pressed down on me. At some point, I must have drifted, but I woke to the shrill alarm in my room, the clock glowing 3 a.m. A line of figures entered as nurses, a few doctors, and Mason in the lead, clipboard in hand. Their faces were masks, their movements too precise, like puppets waiting for a command. "It's time for you to leave," Mason said. "It's 3 a.m, I snapped. "Where the hell am I supposed to go?" "I still need medical care." He tilted his head with that same grin I remembered from the bar. "Do you feel pain?" I hesitated. "No." "Do you remember how you got here?" "No." "Well, you're going to remember this," he said, eyes glinting. "You're leaving right now. Get out." They stripped the IV from my arm, removed my straps, dropped my clothes on the bed, and stood watching until I got dressed. No one blinked, no one breathed. Their eyes followed me all the way down the hall to the sliding doors. Above the exit, the glowing sign pulsed like it was alive. Hell's Pass Memorial Hospital. Outside, the air was thick and hot, but only faintly. The street lamps still hummed. Cars sat parked, but felt staged. But when I looked further, beyond the nearest intersection, past the faint glow of the block, there it was. A horizon that bled fire, a wall of orange and red, burning the sky itself in the distance. The shapes of buildings were silhouettes against the inferno, like the city was swallowed by flames just beyond reach. Or perhaps the distant flames were standing guard. Yet here, on these few blocks, everything felt normal. Storefronts intact, signs lit. A newspaper fluttered across the pavement like it was any other morning. It was wrong, painfully wrong, standing in the eye of a storm and pretending the wind wasn't screaming all around me. I started walking, each step pulling me further from the false light of the hospital. The further I got, the darker it became, as if the streetlights were choking on shadows. That's when I heard soft, broken, almost drowned by the weight of the silence. A little girl crying. I followed the sound until I found her, a small, ragged figure hunched against a dirty brick building in a dark alley, shoulders shaking, hair matted with 4 pigtails. A young black girl, bruised and damaged in every way. "Little girl," I called gently, "are you okay?" No answer, just sobs. I stepped closer. "Hey, do you need help?" She didn't turn, didn't move.
Ugh, why am I addicted already? Hit me with another.